Good evening to you all. Today we're going to talk about episode 22 from Surah Al-Aaraf. And those who deny our signs, we will gradually lead them to destruction from where they do not know. The meaning here is that God is saying that those who denied, rejected, and disbelieved in our signs, we will give them respite, we will delay them, meaning we give them time, we postpone their punishment, then we make their bad deeds seem attractive to them until they believe they're on the right path, and then we punish them. So what is this considered as? It's a form of enticement. Who's the scholar here? It's the Jami al-Bayan fi Tafsir al-Quran by al-Tabari. The question here is, does God need to entice people and make their bad deeds seem attractive to them? Is that a good thing? Yeah, just to point out, the verse here is talking about the polytheists. Okay, another point is that God is speaking about himself in the first person, but not in the singular, in the plural, with our signs. Not I, not with my signs, and not I will entice them. But with our signs we, God, will entice them, and I will give them respite. Indeed, my plan is firm. The meaning is, I will record the sins of the polytheists and prolong their lives so they persist in sin, then seize them with strength and severity. What's the source? Ma'alim al-Tanzil by al-Baghawi. The question here, pay attention. I give them respite means I store up their sins and bad deeds for them. Does God need to give respite, plot, and store up things against the polytheists? The point to note here is that God is speaking in the first person about himself, but this time in the singular. And I give respite, my plotting. Of course, in the previous verse, he was speaking in the first person about himself, but in the plural. With our signs, we will gradually lead them on. That's the difference. Have they not reflected? Their companion is not possessed. He is only a clear warner. What does this mean here? It's that when one of the Quraysh questioned, or didn't the believers who are following the Prophet Muhammad know that their companion or their prophet, meaning their companion here refers to their prophet, didn't they know that their prophet is insane? They don't know this. They don't know this story. That's what the Qurayshi is saying, so who will answer him? God answers him, saying that the prophet is innocent of madness, that he sends down a sign to him, responding to him, meaning that he is only a clear warner. Here, the source is Zad al-Mazir fi ilm al-Tafsir by Ibn al-Jawzi. The point to note here is about the questioner who said, what did he say? Didn't he say that their companion is insane, this Qurayshi? The truth is, this person is unknown, not identified in history. That is, no one said that such and such person asked and then God answered him. Yeah, no one. There just isn't anyone like that. Have they not looked into the dominion of the heavens and the earth and everything that God has created, and that perhaps their appointed time has drawn near? So in what message after this will they believe? The meaning here is that he is asking, haven't the polytheists looked at what God has created in the heavens, like the sun and the moon, and what he has created on earth, like the mountains and the seas, so that they would believe that he is the creator? I mean, they don't see it all, So he asks again, what book other than the Quran will they believe in if their end is near and they die? Who is the source for this? It is the same Bar al-Ulum by al-Samarkandi. The question here is, what is the wisdom behind repeating that twice, and perhaps it may be? I mean, what if we just left this part out completely? If we said it like this, for example, and whatever God has created Perhaps their end has drawn near. What does that mean? What would happen? What flaw would affect the text if it were missing? And the first, that whoever God leads astray, there is no guide for him, and he leaves them wandering blindly in their transgression. The meaning, the main reason for the disbelievers turning away from faith is that God has led them astray. If he had guided them, they would have believed, but he leaves them in their misguidance, persisting in disbelief without guiding them to the right path. Who is the source here? It is Lubab al-Tawil fi Mani al-Tanzil by Al-Khazin. The question is, does God lead people astray by his will? So why hold them accountable? He leads them astray. He says, whoever God leads astray, there is no guide. So what's the point of accountability? And what is the reason for repeating this verse twice in the same surah? Let me show you. Here it is, with the same meaning. It's true, the wording might differ a little, but pay attention here. Moses says to him, "It is nothing but a trial, my Lord. You lead astray whom you will and guide whom you will." If you remember when we mentioned verse 155, changed, maybe we talked about it in the last episode. We said, whoever Allah guides, he is truly guided, and whoever he leads astray, those are the losers. Verse 178 in the same verse, in the same surah, which is Al-Aaraf, the one we're discussing. What is the wisdom behind emphasizing that Allah is the one who guides and the one who leads astray? 3 times in a single surah. They ask you about the hour, when will it come to pass? Say, its knowledge is only with my Lord. None will reveal its time except him. It weighs heavily upon the heavens and the earth. It will not come upon you except suddenly. They ask you as if you are well informed about it. Say, its knowledge is only with Allah, but most people do not know. The reason for the revelation is that the Jews, and some others say that a group from Quraysh asked the Prophet, "If you are a prophet, tell us when the hour will be established." And even though we know the answer, the verse was revealed. I mean, just look at how the Quran is revealed. This is the beginning. The Jews direct a question about the end to the Prophet, and Allah sends down a verse in response. So the Quran is contemporary with the events. It started from the earth, not from the heavens, because the revelation happened after the question was asked. That was the reason for the revelation. So what does it mean? It means that Allah is telling the Prophet Muhammad that the Jews, or the Quraysh tribe, since there are 2 opinions, that the Jews will ask you, Muhammad, about the day of judgment or the hour and when it will happen. Tell them, its knowledge is with my Lord. He alone knows it. He is the only one, and no one else, who will reveal when the hour will come. Because when the hour comes, the heavens will split apart, the stars will scatter, and the sun will be wrapped up. And pay attention. When the hour comes upon the earth, the mountains will be set in motion and the seas will be set ablaze. Then Allah tells him, they will ask you as if you have full knowledge of it, as if you are well informed about it. Tell them, its knowledge is with my Lord. That's just to emphasize it even more. So what's the verse? The source is Al-Wasit by Sheikh Muhammad Syed Tantawi. Okay, I have a question. What's the wisdom behind the repetition here? Say it, go ahead. Say, its knowledge is only with my Lord. That's one time. And then he goes back and says, say, its knowledge is only with Allah. So what's the difference between the 2? Here, folks, the discussion shifts. This verse shifts to talk about the Jews. say, I do not possess for myself any benefit or harm except what Allah wills. And if I had known the unseen, I would have acquired much good, and no harm would have touched me. I am only a warner and a bringer of good news to people who believe. The meaning here is that he is telling him, he commands him, just like last time he said, say. Here too he tells him, say, I do not possess for myself any good or evil except what Allah wills. That's it, complete. And if I knew, if I, as a prophet, as Muhammad, knew the unseen, no harm would have ever touched me, and I would have taken precautions. I am not insane, and my only mission is to be a warner and a bringer of good news. As for the source here, it is Al-Qurtubi's Al-Jami Li Akam Al-Quran. Honestly, I don't have a question or anything here, but I just want to emphasize the point that this word illa, except, means folks, that the Prophet's only mission is to be a warner and a bringer of good news. He has absolutely no right to legislate. In addition to the fact that there are 13 Quranic verses that say, the messenger's duty is only to deliver the message. He is the one who created you from a single soul and made from it its mate so that he might find comfort in her. When he covered her, she conceived a light burden and carried it around. But when it became heavy, they both prayed to Allah, their Lord, saying, if you grant us a righteous child, we will surely be among the grateful. What does this mean? It means that God is the one who created you, O children of Adam, from Adam himself, and from his rib he created Eve so that he might find comfort in her. Then, when he was intimate with her as husbands are with their wives, she conceived a light pregnancy from him. When the pregnancy continued and the child grew in her womb, both she and Adam prayed to our Lord, saying, if you grant us a righteous child, sound in body, we will surely be among the grateful for your blessing upon us. Who is this referring to? This is the interpretation of the verse. This is the meaning of the verse. Who is saying this? It is Al-Tabarsi in his book Majma, Al-Bayan Fi Tafsir Al-Quran. Here, actually, the discussion starts referring to God in the third person. So what is he saying? He created you, meaning from a single soul and so on, and made, it's not we made or you made, but he made. No, here the reference to God is in the third person. So the question is, who is speaking about God in the third person? The point to note here, or the observation, is that, my friends, the conversation has now shifted to talking about the children of Adam. So when he gave them a good child, they made partners with him in what he had given them. Exalted is God above what they associate with him. Here, the word partners, the one that's underlined, yes, good, nafi, and Asim used to recite it as shirka, as you can see written below. All right, good. The part about, so when he gave them a good child, what does it mean here? Pay attention, this is a very important point. Okay, so when he made partners for him in what, just as it appears in the Quran, he made partners for him in what, I'll underline all of it for you here, good. This was mentioned in the Mushaf of Ubay ibn Kabi as, so when he gave them a good child, they associated partners with him in it. Do you notice the difference between the two? The matter of they associate, that last word here. Nafi and Al-Hassan used to recite it with a ta, tushrikan. There are two opinions about the meaning here. One opinion says that if we read it as yashrikun as it is in the Quran, it means that Adam and Eve are the ones meant, that they associated Iblis in naming the child. The boy who brought this sweet gift that God has blessed them with. He is a healthy person. What is his name? Devil. ABD Shams or ABD Al-Aaraf, they say this or that, but he is the devil. That is, God honored them with a boy, and the devil gave him a name that gave him ideas. So there are other people who say, no, that's not it. We're going to read it as Mash Yashrikun. We're going to read it like the one below Tushrikun. So who, guys, is meant in this case? He said, it's not Adam and Eve at all. So who is it then? He said, it's the disbelievers of the Arabs. What is meant is that they associate idols with God in worship. What's the source that mentions these two opinions? It's Al-Muharrar Al-Wajiz Fi Tafsir Al-Kitab Al-Aziz by Ibn Atiyah. So the question here, which we took as the title of the episode, did Satan, because Adam and Eve to associate others with God. So what does the clarification say? It says here, he came to them, and then it repeats and says what? He came to them once again. So the significant discussion here is profoundly about God, meaning he came to them and graciously gave him, meaning what exactly in precise terms? Here's the point. The speaker here is not God himself, but rather someone is talking about God and says, he came to them twice and for him once. Do they associate with him those who create nothing while they themselves are created? Here, regarding the recitation, how did some people read it? Well, Nafi, Al-Hassan, and Abu Jafar read the word above, Yashrikun, they associate, as Tushrikun, you associate. The meaning here, in my opinion, is that the first interpretation says, if we read it as Yashrikun, they associate, then the address is directed to Adam and Eve, same topic, who associated the devil in naming their son, whether he was called ABD Shams or ABD Al-Harith, whatever the case. The second opinion says no, this question or this statement or this address is directed at the polytheists, those who are idolaters, meaning the polytheists of Mecca, those who associate idols with God in worship. Who is the source here? It is Al-Muharrar Al-Wajiz Fi Tafsir Al-Kitab Al-Aziz by Ibn Atiyah, and they cannot help them, nor can they help themselves. The meaning is that the idols neither help those who worship them nor harm those who disobey them. Who is the speaker here? It is Lubab Al-Tawil Fi Mani Al-Tanzil by Al-Kazim. And if you call them to guidance, they will not follow you. It is the same for you whether you call them or remain silent. The meaning here is that if you were to call these idols you worship to goodness and guidance, they wouldn't follow you, whether you call them to goodness and guidance or you don't call them at all. Who is it not? The source here is Al-Kashaf by Al-Zamakhshari. Honestly, I call upon Muslim jurists to review and thoroughly study Jalal al-Din al-Suyuti's perspective that the Quran is a revelation from God, but phrased by the Prophet Muhammad himself. He is the one who articulated it in the language of his people, their culture, and their way of understanding. Because, if you notice, God insulted or cursed the polytheists, describing them as dogs at one point and as cattle at another. And honestly, you know what? God inspires, but does not speak. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next episode.